Good afternoon. 17 years ago, I made a serious mistake by committing an illegal act when I married a person so that he could retain residency in the United States. It was a marriage of convenience. He needed help, and I needed financial support. We were both living in Washington State. I was attending Evergreen State College, and we were introduced by mutual acquaintances. This was a difficult and unstable period in my life. I want to be clear today, I was associating with the wrong people. I was struggling to put myself through college and was offered money in exchange for marrying a young person who had a chance to get a college degree himself if he were able to remain in the United States. We met only a handful of times. We never lived together. I have not had any contact with him since the divorce finalized in 2002. It was wrong then, and it is wrong now, and I am here today to accept the consequences, some of which will be life-changing, and I cannot predict what direction this will go. In the few years after this bad decision, I completed my degree, got my feet underneath me, and established my home and career in Oregon. I became an active and engaged civic volunteer, community member, and I became politically active. My decision to marry illegally felt very, very distant and far removed from the life that I was then building. I was ashamed and embarrassed. Therefore, I did not share this information, even with John, once we met and started dating. This is the most painful part for me. John Kitzauber deserved to know the history of the person he was forming a relationship with. The fact that I did not disclose this to him meant that he has learned about this in the most public and unpleasant way. This is by far my greatest sorrow in this difficult situation. I apologize deeply for my actions and omissions, first and foremost to John, the person I love and respect above all others. I also apologize to my friends, family, and colleagues who have trusted and supported me. And to Oregonians, I deeply regret not being right up front about the fact that I had made such a serious mistake, and I owe you all an apology. The work that I do on behalf of our environment and trying to make people's lives better is incredibly important to me. It is the focal point of my life. I will continue to do my best in that arena going forward. But for the time being, there are more urgent issues. I need to take some personal time to reflect and address this difficult situation and to focus on my relationship with John. And I am prepared to take some questions now.
How much money were you paid?
As I remember it, it was used to buy a laptop and pay for school expenses, and it was right around $5,000.
Beyond that $5,000, did this young man support you?
No.
After that?
No.
Sylvia, after a year or two of this, why still keep it secret?
As I said, because I was embarrassed, I was ashamed of it, and it felt like such a distant part of my past that I didn't come forward.
What did the governor say when you told him?
Well, he was stunned and he was hurt, and I will be eternally grateful
Why isn't the governor here today? So
for the beautiful, loving way he has supported me in this.
Sylvia, why isn't the governor here with you today?
I asked him not to be because I can't talk about this without not crying when I look at him right now.
Were there other marriages like this?
Absolutely not.
So will you state categorically that it's only 3?
Yes.
No more?
No more.
Under any name?
Under any name.
You said you expect your life to change. How's that?
it already has. You know, it's a very serious thing. It's going to have serious consequences.
Do you expect to continue to serve as an advisor to this company?
Right now, I have to focus on these personal issues and our relationship, and time will tell on the other going forward.
Sylvia, what would you tell voters if they're now about to consider Governor Kitzhaber's re-election?
I'm sorry?
What would you tell voters about their decision to re-elect Governor Kitzhaber in light of this?
That Governor Kitzhaber had nothing to do with this. That Cylvia Hayes made a very serious illegal act 17 years ago, and the governor did not know about this until, was it yesterday afternoon?
There have also been allegations that you've used your public office for private gain. What do you say about those?
First of all, I categorically disagree with many of the conclusions and assumptions in the Willamette Week article. I can tell you that we have been very proactively cautious and sought legal advice for both of those things, what I could and could not do professionally and what I could and could not do as First Lady.
Why not completely separate your life from the governor and do your own thing just to make sure that this kind of overlapping didn't happen?
Because the kind of issues, the work that I do is mission-driven work for me, and the kind of issues that I work on, we've been working on these things together the entire 10 years we've been together.
So you said you received, you think, $5,000 for this wedding. Did you report that $5,000 on your income tax return the year you received
No.
it? No. So you filed a false tax return?
Possibly.
Have you received any legal advice, whether you're in any legal jeopardy now because of this?
I have got an attorney, and he is researching what those possibilities are.
What do you think your punishment or penalty should be for committing this crime?
That remains to be seen. Once this is investigated, like I said, I'm here to take responsibility and accept consequences for what I've done.
We have time just for a question or two.
Sylvia, this young man was a teenager when he entered into this marriage. You were almost 30 years old. I mean, you're saying now that this was a big mistake. You were an adult, well into adulthood. What is your response to that?
It was a big mistake, you know.
Have you been in contact at all with Mr. Abraham since this? Or?
No, I have not been in contact with him since the divorce was finalized in 2002.
Do you have any concern about what might happen to him now?
Of course I'm concerned. I don't know what will happen. I feel terrible about the entire situation.
Last question.
Well, there's a reason that it's illegal to marry somebody just to get them into the country. What do you say to that, and what do you say to other young women out there that may have financial problems that are thinking about doing the same thing?
It's a serious issue. There are serious consequences. I made a very serious mistake.
Thank you all very much.